For this video, we're going to be working with the posterior chain, specifically the upper hamstring zone. This is a great video or therapeutic exercise for the upper hamstring. So we're going to start off just so you can feel what it's like with both legs neutral, and then we're going to go to a staggered stance. Feet are parallel, hip distance apart. You can place your hands on your greater trochanters, which are the bones here on the outer part of your hips. You're going to hinge your butt back. If you haven't seen the hip hinge video, check that one out first. It'll show you what I'm talking about hip hinging. You're going to take the hips back, making sure that the knees do not cross the front of the ankle joint. It would look like this if it did. We want to bring them back so that our weight is out in front of our feet, but the gravity and the weight is actually going through our heels. So for a regular good morning, we're just going to stand up this way as we squeeze our glutes, load back a little bit further, and rise up. And you can do this 10 to 15 times just to get the hips and the hamstrings warmed up. Now to do a single leg isolation, I'm going to step one leg forward, the other one back. And you want it about hip distance apart. If they're any closer than that, it's going to play with your balance a little bit. So you can either be up on the toes on the back, or you can have your heel down or mid-range, whatever you prefer. Keeping the hips nice and neutral, pulling the chin back a little bit so you have a longer posterior neck. And you're going to hinge forward so that your sternum comes over that front foot, making sure your butt comes back, and then also that your pelvis is nice and neutral. Sometimes if you don't have a mirror, you might be like this and you can't see, so if you can do this with a partner or even in the mirror, making sure your pelvis is nice and neutral. Lock out the front knee just to see what that feels like. Now for this exercise, we want the knee to be micro bent. We don't want it out too far forward like this, like a lunge. We don't want it locked out. We don't want just a micro bend. We're going to hinge over. Right now you might start to feel a little bit of a load put on that upper part of the hamstring, even the multifidus and the lower back and the rectus spinae. And you can hang out here for 10 seconds, and then you can slowly rise up. And when you do that, you're pushing through the ball of that front foot to help lift you up, and it's going to act as a pulley with this part of the hamstring here to help pull and lift you up. And you come back down, maybe go a little bit further, and then rise up. And you can do this 10 to 20 times, a few sets each side, as long as there's no pain.